In the far reaches of the galaxy, where stars flickered faintly against the endless black, the Valorians, a proud and experienced alien race, watched their space carefully. Their scanners suddenly picked up an unknown vessel moving steadily toward their borders. It was a human ship, small but fast, cutting through the void with purpose. The Valorian commanders, confident in their superiority and expecting an easy encounter, prepared for a peaceful negotiation or a quick surrender. After all, no species had ever dared to challenge the Valorians so boldly. But when the human ship refused to halt, the tension grew thick like an approaching storm. The Valorians sent a clear warning over the universal channels, demanding the humans stop and explain their presence. Instead of compliance, the humans responded with steady, calm words. No fear, no hesitation, just a firm declaration that they had every right to be where they were going. The Valorian officers exchanged uneasy glances. Their next step was to send a small patrol ship to intercept the humans, expecting compliance or at least a clear sign of submission. But the moment the two ships came face to face, the Valorians saw something no one had seen before. The humans did not flinch, did not back down. Their weapons were ready, their formations tight and purposeful. When the Valorians tried to intimidate them with a display of force, the humans met it head-on, moving with a strange combination of discipline and wild determination that unsettled even the most hardened alien soldiers. The Valorian commander issued a final warning, threatening to open fire if the humans did not stand down immediately. Instead of fear, the humans responded with a surge of defense so fierce it caught the Valorians off guard. Their counterattacks were swift and unpredictable, not relying on brute strength alone but on quick thinking and unyielding spirit. The Valorian soldiers had never seen anything like it, a species that seemed to fight with the fire of a whole world inside them, refusing to quit no matter the cost. Every time the Valorians pressed forward, the humans held their ground or pushed back harder, as if driven by something deeper than simple survival. The Valorian command ship's atmosphere grew tense as reports from the front lines told of stubborn resistance and surprising skill. The humans didn't follow the usual patterns of retreat or negotiation that the Valorians had encountered with other species. Instead, they seemed to have no off switch, no moment when they decided enough was enough. This baffled the Valorian scientist monitoring the battle. How could a species maintain such relentless energy and willpower in the face of overwhelming odds? The standoff stretched longer than expected, with neither side gaining clear advantage. The humans' refusal to back down was not just stubbornness but a mystery wrapped in courage. The Valorian commander faced a difficult choice: press the attack and risk heavy losses, or try to find a new way to understand this strange, fierce species. As the ships hung in the dark silence of space, a quiet realization began to settle among the Valorian ranks. Humanity was unlike any enemy they had faced before. The humans' battle was not just about winning or losing, but about something more profound, something that no alien had yet learned to control or predict. This first contact was no mistake for the humans. It was the beginning of a challenge that would test the limits of both species in ways no one could imagine. After the intense clash with the humans, the Valorian fleet pulled back to a safe distance, their minds heavy with questions they had never expected to face. The commanders ordered their scientists and strategists to study every detail of human behavior during combat. What they discovered was both baffling and unsettling. Humans did not behave like any other species the Valorians had encountered in thousands of years of space exploration. Most alien races showed clear signs when they were ready to stop fighting. They lowered their weapons, sent signals of surrender, or simply fled the battlefield. But humans, the scientists found, seemed to lack what the Valorians called an off switch. This meant that during combat, humans continued to fight with relentless energy and determination, pushing forward even when faced with overwhelming odds. Their endurance was unmatched, and their passion to protect one another and achieve their goals appeared almost instinctive. The Valorian experts debated furiously, wondering if this trait was tied to some biological factor, like a special chemical in human brains, or if it was something psychological, a mindset formed through centuries of struggle and survival. On a harsh planet, Despite all their research, the truth remained just out of reach. No one could explain why humans refused to stop or slow down when all logic said they should. Meanwhile, on the front lines, human soldiers advanced steadily through difficult terrain and under constant threat. Their faces showed focus, determination, and an unwavering belief in the mission. Every man and woman was driven by a strong connection to their comrades beside them, not just as fellow fighters but as family. Stories of sacrifice and bravery whispered between the ranks fueled their courage, and every step forward was taken with the knowledge that giving up was not an option. Even when injured or outnumbered, the soldiers fought on, refusing to let fear or pain control their actions. This unbreakable will surprised the Valorian spies observing the battle, who noted how humans adapted quickly, learning from mistakes in moments and rallying others to keep moving forward. The Valorian leaders began to worry. Their usual tactics of overwhelming force or psychological warfare were useless against this kind of spirit. It became clear that defeating humans was not just about weapons or numbers, it was about breaking something far deeper. But the Valorians had no idea how to do that. They watched as human squads formed tight bonds, sharing not only strategies but also stories, laughter, and hope. These bonds seemed to create an energy field of sorts, a shared strength that no enemy could touch. Slowly, the Valorian commanders realized that they were not just fighting soldiers. They were facing a species that carried within it a fire impossible to extinguish. The longer the conflict went on, the more the myth of the human off-switch grew. A legend whispered among Valorian troops who now feared encountering humans in battle. For the Valorians, this relentless drive challenged their beliefs about war and survival. It made them question their own limits and forced them to reconsider what true strength meant. And far from the front lines, as the Valorian scientists continued their research, the humans pushed forward, unaware that their stubborn will had already begun to change the course of this interstellar conflict. The mystery of the human spirit, their refusal to quit, was only just beginning to unfold, promising that future battles would be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Valorians, growing more frustrated and curious about the humans' strange and relentless nature, decided to escalate the conflict by sending their elite forces, hoping that their most skilled warriors could break the human spirit and force a quick surrender. These elite troops were confident and well-trained, equipped with the most advanced weapons and tactics designed to overwhelm any enemy. When they reached the battlefield, they expected humans to falter under pressure, but what they found instead was a display of raw, unyielding willpower that stunned even the most seasoned Valorian commanders. Each clash revealed the incredible resilience of the humans who refused to back down even when their lives were at great risk. Their courage seemed endless, and their willingness to protect each other no matter the danger showed a strength beyond mere physical ability. What shocked the Valorians most was how the humans adapted in the middle of battle, shifting their tactics on the fly, responding to attacks with sudden, unpredictable moves that caught their enemies off guard. It was as if the humans had a sixth sense, knowing when to advance and when to retreat, when to defend and when to strike, all while maintaining an energy that never seemed to fade. This adaptability made the Valorian commanders realize that their usual strategies perfected over centuries of warfare were ineffective against such a determined opponent. Every attempt to break through the human lines was met with a new form of resistance, as if the humans learned and evolved faster than the Valorians could anticipate. The elite Valorian soldiers found themselves pushed to their limits, surprised by the humans' ability to rally quickly after setbacks and their refusal to accept defeat. As the battles dragged on, the Valorian leaders faced an uncomfortable truth. Their strength alone would not guarantee victory. The human spirit, their endless drive and refusal to give up, was a force of nature that no technology or weapon could fully control. This realization forced the Valorians to rethink their approach, questioning whether they understood their enemy at all. The conflict was no longer just a matter of power but a clash of willpower, where determination and heart mattered as much as firepower. The humans' relentless energy became a mystery that the Valorians could not solve, creating a growing sense of unease and respect within their ranks. Each skirmish deepened the legend of the humans' unbreakable will, a legend that spread like wildfire among the Valorian troops. The elite forces, once proud and confident, now fought not just against a physical enemy but against an indomitable spirit that refused to be crushed. This battle was changing the way the Valorians saw war and strength. It was teaching them that sometimes the greatest power lies not in weapons or tactics but in the will to keep fighting, no matter the odds. The Valorian commanders began to understand that defeating humans would require more than just force. It would demand an understanding of what made these beings so incredibly tough to break. And in the dark expanse of space, with stars watching, silently, the war between the Valorians and humans entered a new phase, one where the clash of wills became the true battleground, and where every victory came at the cost of facing an enemy who refused to quit. As the battle raged on, and the Valorians struggled to understand the humans' unstoppable will, they captured a few human soldiers and managed to intercept communications between human units. These captured moments opened a window into a world the Valorians had never truly seen before, a history filled with endless survival against impossible odds. The stories were not just about battles fought in space, but about struggles on a small blue planet where humans had faced natural disasters, wars, famines, and countless challenges that tested their very existence. Each story told of people who refused to give up, who found strength in the darkest times, and who drew power from the bonds they shared with one another. The Valorian leaders listened closely, their initial dismissiveness replaced by a growing respect and even fear. They realized that the humans' fighting spirit came from a deep place within, a fire kindled by generations of hardship and determination. This fire was unlike anything the Valorians had ever encountered, a force that burned brighter the harder it was challenged. Some soldiers, after hearing these stories and seeing the humans in battle, began to question their own motivations and what it meant to truly commit to a fight. They wondered if they had ever possessed the same kind of fierce determination or if they simply fought because it was their duty. A quiet unease spread through the ranks as the reality of facing a species with such an unyielding drive became impossible to ignore. The Valorian commanders found themselves divided. On one side, some argued that humanity was too dangerous to be left alive and should be destroyed before it could threaten more worlds. On the other, a growing faction believed that these humans were not just enemies but potential allies, beings worthy of understanding and perhaps even friendship. The idea of diplomacy, once dismissed as impossible, suddenly seemed like the only path that might avoid endless bloodshed. This debate echoed through the halls of Valorian command, a reflection of the inner conflict sparked by their encounters with humans. They faced a choice that went beyond tactics and weapons, whether to annihilate a race that refused to be broken or to reach out and find common ground with a species that showed them the true meaning of courage. The captured humans, the stories they told, and the fire within them had changed the Valorians forever. The war had revealed not just the strength of human fighters, but also the strength of their spirit, a force that demanded respect and careful thought. As the Valorians weighed their options, the tension in the galaxy grew. Every day brought new battles and new challenges, but also new understanding. The question now was whether the Valorians could learn from the humans' unyielding fire, or if their fear and mistrust would lead them down a path of destruction instead. In the quiet moments between battles, many Valorians stared up at the stars, wondering what the future held in a universe where humanity refused to be defeated, no matter the cost. The final battle between the Valorians and humans stretched far, beyond what anyone had imagined, with both sides exhausted and tested to their limits. The Valorians, despite their advanced technology and numbers, found that no matter how hard they pressed or how many weapons they unleashed, the humans would not break. It was as if the humans fought not just with their bodies, but with their very souls, fueled by something deeper than fear or survival, a drive to protect what mattered most: family, freedom, and hope. The Valorian commanders watched their forces dwindle, their confidence shaken by an enemy who refused to surrender or retreat. Slowly, the idea that force alone could win this war began to fade. The very spirit of humanity, their relentless energy, and refusal to give up, became impossible obstacles to overcome by weapons or strategy. Faced with this reality, the Valorians made a bold choice: to offer a truce. This decision surprised many on both sides. For the Valorians, it was an admission of respect, an acknowledgement that humans were more than just fighters. They were survivors who carried with them a fierce will that demanded understanding, not destruction. The humans, wary but hopeful, accepted the offer, knowing that peace was not the end of their struggle but a new beginning. Together, the two species began to share their knowledge, cultures, and histories, learning from each other's strengths and weaknesses. Humans taught the Valorians about resilience, the power of hope, and the importance of fighting for something greater than oneself. The Valorians shared their technology and wisdom, offering new ways to explore and protect the galaxy. This new era of cooperation sparked a remarkable change, turning former enemies into allies with a common purpose. The story of humanity's no-off switch during combat became a legend, whispered across star systems and celebrated as a symbol of what it truly means to never give up, no matter the challenges ahead. It was a story of courage and heart, of a species that refused to quit, and in doing so, taught others the meaning of true strength. In this fragile peace, both humans and Valorians looked toward the stars with renewed hope, ready to face whatever the future held, together.